Hi everyone, it's Peter from the Pain Toolkit, and welcome to another Pain Toolkit Academy question and answer. And first and foremost, thanks very much for everybody who's been sending in the questions. It's been really nice of you. Listen, hey, look who we got with us tonight. We got our good friend Helen Roome, an OT, all the way down there in South Africa. Good evening to you, Helen.
Hi, Pete and Dave. Always good to be with you both. I'm looking forward to an interesting conversation.
There you go. And got Dave Oxley down with us as well. Keith is not here at the moment. He's having a little bit of some vacation time, so he won't be with us for the next couple of weeks. But so we maybe you might get a couple of guests in somewhere along the lines while he's away. So listen, let's crack on with the first question. So our first question is from a person living with pain. I want to say George, but it's George. And they ask, are there any specific dietary recommendations that complement the self-management program? Um,
Right.
I think if I can start it up, just get the wheels rolling.
Hmm.
Um, the only I don't I tend to have always leant towards the what they would call the Mediterranean diet. I've never really I've had food issues myself, probably eating a little bit too much over the years. But as I've got a bit older, like it's importance of balanced diets and the right foods. I think for me, it's about what works for you. But from what I can see, the Mediterranean, excuse me, the Mediterranean diet is well, everybody seems to lean towards it. So, but Helen, what's your view on it?
Yeah. So I first just want to say I love that George is thinking beyond strategies and he's thinking of lifestyle, right? And he's thinking of your whole life because we really need lifestyle to support self-management. It's no good we have these clever little tools and tricks, but the actual background is not supporting it. So I think that's great. And Pete, you're totally right. My understanding, and I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist, but just from my own research and understanding as a clinician, is that we often do advocate for the Mediterranean diet because what we're looking for is a diet that is low inflammatory. So, of course, ultimately, no matter what recommendation we're making, we're always going to personalize it to that person.
Mm.
But I would say, as a general rule, we're looking for that kind of low inflammatory diet where you've got low processed food, you've got a lot of fish oils and fish, you've got some good veggies in there. Um, the other thing, if I can just add to that, would be that people can have particular food sensitivities and allergies that could be, if I can say, sort of irritating their systems. So um, I work a lot with people with fibromyalgia, and what we often find is once people have that sort of widespread chronic pain, um, they become more sensitive to certain food stuff. So it's a bit of chicken and egg. And common allergies like gluten, dairy, eggs, because the body's sort of irritated by it, sensitive, starts to fight it, we get that sort of inflammatory reaction going on. So, apart from a general Mediterranean diet, yes, I think people could look at food sensitivities and allergies and see if there's anything that might also be
Mm.
contributing. I don't know if either of you have noticed food allergies becoming a problem for you. Um,
Yes,
yeah.
Dave, I think we talked about this the other week. Oh, well, I didn't know it at the time, but you're a vegetarian.
No, I've gone the whole hog and I've gone vegan
Oh,
because
vegan.
when my journey with pain first started, the medication I was on was, ridiculously strong, and it meant that I couldn't eat red meat and cheese. So it kind of killed my diet because on a Saturday morning I'd have bacon, onion, and mushroom rolls, and at lunch with an egg, and then at lunch I'd have cheese and pickle rolls. So that
Oh
sort of
dear.
meant Saturdays I
All the
couldn't eat
best things.
anything.
All the
Um,
very best things,
Mm.
yeah.
yeah, and then I ended up with just chicken and eggs, and I never liked milk. So in the end, I just gave up on the chicken and the eggs. And for the last 3 years, I've been vegan, and I found that's helped me. But other
Mhm.
people I know have cut out certain vegetables because they find that those aggravate them. So it's as Helen said, it's experimenting with your own body and working out
Mm.
what works for you, but erring on
Mm,
the unprocessed and the healthier, because your body's already going through so much that you don't want to make it harder by giving it an unhealthy fueling.
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
Dave, do you find getting enough protein in is challenging? Um,
Um, I think I get about the right amount. I eat a lot of nuts to get there, but then a lot of the veg has got it anyway. So, soya beans, baby broad beans, peas, they're core to the veg that I eat. So they've got
right.
quite a high protein content relative to others. So I'm kind of getting there. I could probably eat a bit more, but I suspect even omnivores could eat a bit more because we end up
Yeah.
filling up with potatoes and things like that instead.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
reason I'm asking is I've had a couple of conversations with people around increasing the intake of protein because we know that protein and muscle mass actually helps with pain management.
Hmm.
So it's something that as you were talking, I just thought, oh, that's something to actually mention is
Yeah.
particularly if you're going vegetarian, vegan, is to just kind of make sure that that protein intake is there. Hey,
Yeah, yeah, it was tough initially when I first stopped because I cut out chicken and then eventually cut out eggs. And at that point, I really struggled to get the protein. But then a quick, Bing, Google, DuckDuckGo, or any other search engine you choose, gave me the vegetables that had a fair bit in them. So I just upped the intake of those.
yeah,
Yeah. And and I've just to finish on this one, really, I suppose. I mean, I'm not a vegetarian. I eat fishes probably. I stopped eating meat. I just have fish, and so I still like fish and chips and stuff. But I don't have any avoid any processed foods. And I think you've got to look at it this way that if you're running a car on diesel, you can only put diesel in there for it to work right, and vice versa. If you run on petrol, like you no point put diesel in it. It's got to run on the right foods, like so. And I feel a
yeah.
lot better for it, like and the other thing as well, I've changed the time of day I eat. Whereas back in the day,
Okay.
I'd have evening meals and stuff like that, but I think as become an older person, it seems to be an older person's thing, but I seem to eat earlier in the day now, so I suppose it gives it more time to whiz, whiz around
Yeah.
the system.
Yeah.
Uh,
And let's not forget hydration because often we talk about diet and we just talk about food and then we forget about what people are actually drinking.
Yeah,
So just to mention that we know that sort of fruit drinks, fruit juices that we all think are so super healthy are actually loaded with sugar. So we've got to watch that.
yeah,
And just to hydrate enough.
yeah,
Most of us are living dehydrated, which is also not great for pain. So let's not forget the fluid side of that as
yeah.
well.
Yeah. I have a big old in the morning. I have a big jug of lemon, fresh lemon and ginger. A fresh
Hmm.
ginger which I trim up
mhm.
and whatnot. And they're sort of going back to me plumbing again, but flashing out the system.
Yeah,
But I tend to,
good for you.
yeah, and I have a cup of tea and a couple of chinos during the day. But other than that, I just drink, like fizzy water with the ginger and ginger and lemon. I love it. Anyway,
Mm.
so do you know? Just got to get me list going here. So, second question. This is from a healthcare professional called Theresa. I quite like this. Well, I like all the questions sent in. They're pretty good. Teresa said or asks, how do we ensure that patients feel empowered and take ownership of their pain management journey?
Mhm.
Want to start us off with that one, Helen?
Sure. Um, We always emphasize the partnership. We always emphasize that it's supported self-management, and so both parties coming to the relationship. And I think from the health professional's point of view or perspective, what we need to keep doing is offering people choices. So I might bring some expertise around strategies and skills that I know are helpful for self-management, but because we always want to be informed by the person's life, their preferences, their values, their needs, and so on, I believe we always need to present those as choices. So we have the evidence, but we can use the evidence to still provide choices and personalize those options. So what I do is I discuss everything with the person. So I present things as choices, and then it's a discussion, and it's a back and forth, and it's a constant problem solving. So I think we've had some conversations before about how, from the healthcare professional's point of view, we need to be prepared to hear someone say no to us. We need to invite opinions, invite disagreement. So I'm quite intentional about making sure that the person I'm working with knows that they can disagree with me. I'll actually say that. So I'll say, I'm thinking this. You're welcome to disagree with me. You're welcome to say, Helen, I think you've got the wrong idea here. So I actually intentionally invite that. So this is quite a long answer, but I think I'm sort of I'm trying to articulate sort of the tone of the relationship that we're trying to set here. So I think what we can as healthcare professionals err on is saying, oh, well, I must just know a whole lot of stuff that I must just then transfer to this person. I must just, teach them stuff. But I don't think that that works very well. There is teaching involved, but long before teaching, there's trust. And there is this framing of the relationship in a way that allows engagement, choices, shared decision making. Those are the things that I think help someone stay engaged, as well as, I think, always connecting what we're doing in let's say, a teaching therapeutic kind of moment to a really important goal that the person has. It's no good if I say, listen, self-management is your way forward, because I say so and because the evidence suggests it is and whatever. I might be totally passionate about that. But if the person isn't connecting that to an important goal they have, like returning to work or looking after their child, we're going to miss each other big time.
Yeah. What's your spin on it, Dave? I mean, you've been on a few courses now, haven't you? You've been on the pain management program before you come along to the pain toolkit. I mean, what's your
Yeah.
take on it?
Yeah, I really liked what Helen said about presenting choices and not overloading the patient with information, because I'm sure we've all been into medical consultations where one word sticks in our head and everything after that word, we couldn't tell you what, if on pain of death, we wouldn't remember what was there. So presenting the choices, having that conversation, building up the trust. I think the other thing that I would add to what Helen said is that ask the patient what's working and what's not working for them. Because you come up with these three choices, and I might have tried those three things before. So, you saying, well, okay, you've tried them before. What did you do? And then digging into the detail and building on that conversation, because the patient's opened up, they've said no, but it might be not the way they did it before. So we don't want the patient to be closing doors on themselves too early on, because what didn't work, 6 months ago might work now because it might be the right time and the right place.
Yeah. Good point.
Excellent points. Excellent points.
I think for
I
me,
think the asking,
go on. Sorry, Karen.
sorry, Pete.
Go on. Off you go, Ellen.
I think the asking questions thing is so important. Just the other day, I said to a bunch of students, whatever you think in your head, turn it into a question before you say it.
Nice.
So if the person's sitting in front of you and you in your head are going, I think what would be brilliant for this person is X, turn it into a question and say, have you tried?
Hmm.
And if you have, yes, like you say, Dave, did it work for you and why didn't it? And what could we do differently? So I love that. I think more questions, less statements, which is not what I'm doing tonight. But anyway, I'm giving lots of statements tonight, but that's my advice.
That's okay. I think empowerment is vital. It's going back to where you heard me say it time and time again about getting people back in a driving seat, really, like because I think sometimes when in healthcare we get chauffeured around the system, and but at the end of the day, it's not the healthcare professionals' problem. It's our or challenge. It's us, But it's we just need some simple skills to get us underway, etc. And but I think really about making getting it to help us get back at it, but making it fun. I always remember funny enough, he's just come back on the radar for a guy I work with over in Germany, a guy called Franz Husteimer. And I'll tell you what, that guy there, I would have paid him to work for him, But he made learning, uh, he made a point of learning for fun, And I think it's so
Mm.
important. It's getting people to feel more empowered, and they can do it. Give them that encouragement. These are things that you need. But listen, I know I've got faith in you. You can do this. And I always say to patients, if I can, I don't know about you, Dave, when you're talking about others, but if I haven't got an academic bone in my body. I brought up on a street market, so, and so, and I think, well, if I can do it, and I know other people can do it, So, because at the end of the day, self-managing our pain or self-managing our long-term health condition, just need a simple guide, really, like encouragement more, Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, kids. I think the message is really out there to healthcare professionals is it's get people to take ownership of it. Oh, I remember saying to people, "What do you?" I got into the habit years ago. Well, what do you think you need to be doing? And they know already, but they're
Yeah.
sort of been switched off, And I sort of flipped it on them and said, well, they were saying, well, if this happens. I said, well, if someone comes to you and and they told you all of the problems, what would you say to them, and they would come out with some great suggestions. I said, well, there you go. You listen to yourself,
Yeah.
So I think people
Yeah.
do know what to do, but I think the system sort of makes us switches off like a little light switch. And I think getting that, switching on our can-do light again.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's
also, I think, Pete, what you're touching on is something we've talked about a lot as well, which is that it's not so as you say, people know what to do, but I think the obstacle is the how. So
yeah,
um we yeah, many times I see people they've been around the block, they've seen
yeah,
20 or more practitioners, they do know, but what they might not have had support in doing is the how, they're implementing it into daily life so it's sustainable.
mm,
So
mm,
I like what you're saying there about it's the what, but then also the how and why is it not working? Yeah.
Yeah, and knowing we've got a physio coming up as a guest, I'll just upset them now. But being told do 10 of these, do 5 of these, do 3 of these, and not being told it will hurt as you start doing them, rather than,
Mm-hmm.
when I was seeing a physio, I gave up because it hurt too much. Whereas if she'd have said, this is the end goal, and then do 2 or 3 of them, get comfortable doing 2 or 3 of them, and then do next week, do 4, and doing it gradually. So,
mm,
that how is so critical, because I mentioned earlier about they might have already tried something, but they might have tried it in the way I did, doing 10
mm,
at a time
mm,
because that's what
mm.
the physio told me to do. whereas two or three
Yeah,
build up the muscles, get things moving again, and then build on it.
Yeah.
right. And so if we take that even further, we've said there's the what, there's the how, and I'm going to say there's the why.
Hmm.
So meaningful movement is all about this idea that we might still want to prescribe exercise in that kind of way of do 5 of these and 10 of these, not my thing, but if people do that, I think it's still important to link that to the why of if you do this, you're going to be able to, I don't know, play football, I don't know, whatever's important to the person, or walk, to the pub, your favorite pub. Um,
Helen, can
so
you
we've got to
repeat?
think about all of that. Talking about fun, and I think sometimes in pain.
Can you repeat
Oh,
that, Helen?
sorry.
You froze a little
Did you
bit.
miss me there?
No, no, yeah, you froze a little bit.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
You was going to give me the winning lottery numbers for tomorrow night.
3, 4.
Right.
Okay, so I I was emphasizing the why, but Pete,
Yeah.
that sometimes in pain management we focus all about let's deal with the pain, and we focused on the pain and we don't connect it enough to, yeah, the joy or the fun or
Yeah.
the other meaningful things in life that self-management is meant to lead towards.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what we spent a lot of time on the worked examples and the case studies in the on the online academy, particularly for that reason.
Mm.
Helen, bringing in the what am I doing this for? Why am I putting myself through this potential extra pain? What's going to be the benefit for me? And we've got worked examples there of how people can, start gardening again if that's what they like, go back swimming, go running, or possibly not, go walking, go cycling. We've got examples around those types of things that people enjoy doing because most of us have got something we enjoy doing a heck of a lot more than doing 10 push-ups or 10
Mm,
sit-ups or something like that.
And to finish on it, I remember it prompted me to remember
yeah.
when I met up with an old physio friend of mine, Paul Watson, last year, and he reminded me about people needing a purpose. If they haven't got, if they go on a like we was just talking, just
Mm,
thinking about the old days, and when people left a pain management program, they would tend to dip off, and he reminded me, it's because they got a purpose. Well, what are they moving on to? What is the purpose of coming after the program? And I think it's well, we can get it covered by setting goals and action plans and stuff. But I mean, I suppose that I'm still having purposes, to do things. I'm always pushing myself, because with self-management, the freedom it gives you, the to do exciting stuff, really, and that this phrase, Dave. Things happen to you
yeah.
beyond your wildest dreams,
Hmm.
So yeah, purpose. Okay, we move on to now, Marina. I don't know, I might upset people, I don't know, but Marina asked, I've been following the Pain Toolkit and other self-management websites for several years now, and I've been asking my healthcare professional to teach me self-management skills, but they won't. What should I do?
That's a good one, but I think you've already answered this one or part of this one at the beginning of this session, Pete, where you said, no, it was in the pre-chat before we started recording. It was, the healthcare professionals haven't been taught how to teach, haven't been taught about self-management, so they haven't got the skills in order to teach it. So, um, I've forgotten the lady's name, but
Marina.
I would go shopping. We generally say don't go shopping because you don't want to find, you don't want too many healthcare professionals trying to do things. But I would go shopping. If you're following the pain toolkit, then do the course, come along to the cafes, get in touch with Pete and myself through the website. We can talk you through it. I'll cue Helen up here. Occupational therapists are really good at teaching self-management, so I'll hand it over to Helen now to build on that.
That's funny. I was actually going to say, see an occupational
Mm.
therapist. Because even if that occupational therapist is not very informed in pain, because not everyone is, unfortunately, they would at least have a lot of training around self-management and empowering people. But I think I would want to ask Marina what I think I'd want to understand her understanding of self-management and what it is she feels she hasn't been taught, because she might know more than she realizes she knows. So yeah, when I first saw her question, I was wanting to ask her, what do you mean? What do you feel you're not being taught?
Mm.
Because as we know, some of the self-management skills are things like problem solving and goal setting, and those I don't know. I mean, I think you can pick those up from sites and yourself. So I don't know if she means more pain specific
Yeah,
skills. But yeah, difficult question to answer.
yeah, she doesn't. I know there are some
But
parts.
you've answered it, Dave.
I think there are some. There's still sort of gaps here in the UK. I'm guessing around the world as well, where um, it's funny. I was talking to a GP this afternoon. We were talking about self-management for people from the Islamic community. How do we engage those people? And so I think I'm a bit wandering a bit, but there are some big gaps, like in when I do talk to some healthcare professionals here, or they talk to me, they ask me, what do you think about what do I need to do about this? And I'm thinking, Christ, didn't you learn that at school, like? So, but it ain't their fault. So they can't teach you, like you say, Dave. They can't teach what they don't know, like. So I think, as Dave says, Marina is we've got the academy. It's got courses on there for people living with pain and healthcare professionals who want to learn a bit more. I'm sure uh, you do online courses at all, Helen? Do you do?
I do plenty of online courses, but more for various different people, nothing sort of devoted from my practice.
Okay.
But I think what you're getting at, Pete, is that there are a lot of resources. Possibly what Marina is looking for is that personal support. So again, maybe it's not a question of not knowing what to do, but just wanting someone to walk with her a little bit. And so I would, apart from Dave's suggestion of shopping for another practitioner, connect in with a support group of some kind. Maybe more people around her will help. Maybe that's the missing piece here. I'm not sure, but
Marina, contact myself or Dave, and we'll be only too pleased to spend some time with you if you need that little get you off the starting blocks. Okay. So,
Just checking the time, Pete.
uh,
Fortunately, we've been going for a good half an hour,
are
so
we really? Okay, then we'll
yeah,
hit the
because we
brakes on
spent a
that.
long time on question two, didn't we?
Okay. Thanks very much for being my little stopwatch there, mate. I'll get carried away. Adam, we was just going to move on to your question, which is quite a nice one, but we'll forward that on to the next Q&A. So, Helen, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us this evening. I know you work really hard down there and fit this into your little schedule and your downtime, etc. But as usual, I love you. I could talk to you for ages, really.
the time went so quickly,
I
honestly. It
know.
flew by.
See, when you're enjoying yourself, it does whiz by, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
thank
I've got a
Yeah.
timer running. That's the only reason I knew.
you. Okay. Thank you, Dave, for joining us again. Dave, if you can hang around, I just want to chat to you about stuff from the academy and whatnot.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, I'll Helen, you have a nice evening. Take care, and
Thank you, Helen.
we'll see
Thank
everybody
you,
on the
guys.
next. Who we've got on the next Q&A, Dave? Is it? I think it's is it Katie, isn't it?
Could be. There's one next Monday.
Yeah, that'd be Katie. Yeah, Katie. No, it ain't. It's Virginia McIntyre from.
Virginia. Isn't it
Ah,
Virginia from
Yeah,
Canada?
you know, look at this.
nice.
This is why we need you,
You
sir.
see, I'm keeping track.
Yeah, see,
I'm glad one of
yeah,
us is.
you keep us, sis, but the young ladies keep us on track there, Dave. Anyway, thanks everybody. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Ciao.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.